What does it take for a woman to be sentenced to death in America? Is it rage, revenge, desperation, or something far darker? While male serial killers often dominate headlines, a small number of women have committed crimes so shocking, so disturbing, that juries handed down the ultimate punishment. Tonight, we're diving into the stories of 4 of the most infamous women ever sentenced to death in the United States. Their crimes horrified the nation. Their trials divided the public, and their executions sparked debates that still rage today. Stay with me, because each case gets more disturbing than the last. But here's what makes these cases even more chilling. Each of these women claimed something different. Self-defense, redemption, mental illness, abuse. Some people believed them, some didn't. And the question remains, were they monsters, victims, or something in between? Let's begin. Number 1. Aileen Wuornos. If there is one woman whose name became synonymous with female serial killing in America, it's Aileen Wuornos. Between 1989 and 1990, Wuornos murdered 7 men in Florida. She was working as a sex worker at the time and claimed every killing was self-defense. According to Wuornos, the men had either assaulted or attempted to assault her. She said she feared for her life, but investigators saw a different pattern. The victims were found shot at close range. Their belongings were missing. Prosecutors argued that Wuornos was not defending herself. She was robbing and killing. Her background was deeply tragic. She had suffered severe abuse as a child. She grew up abandoned. She lived on the streets. During the trial, her behavior was erratic. At times, she lashed out at the media. At others, she appeared detached and unstable. The jury convicted her. She was sentenced to death in Florida and spent over a decade on death row. In 2002, she was executed by lethal injection. Her final words were haunting. She spoke about returning like Independence Day, a cryptic statement that left many disturbed. Wuornos later became a cultural symbol. Her story was adapted into films and documentaries, including the movie Monster, which reignited debate about whether she was a cold-blooded killer or a deeply damaged woman shaped by trauma. To this day, her case forces people to ask, can someone be both victim and predator? Number 2. Karla Faye Tucker. Karla Faye Tucker's crime was brutal. In 1983, in Texas, she and an accomplice murdered 2 people using a pickaxe during a robbery. The attack was violent and personal. The victims were struck repeatedly. She was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to death. But something happened on death row that changed the public conversation. Tucker converted to Christianity. She claimed to have found God. She expressed deep remorse. She became a born-again Christian and said she had transformed completely. Religious leaders rallied behind her. Celebrities and politicians debated her fate. Even some of the victims' family members supported clemency. Her case became a national debate about redemption. Can someone who commits a horrific crime truly change? And if they do, should that spare them from execution? Despite massive appeals and public attention, the governor of Texas declined to grant clemency. In 1998, Karla Faye Tucker was executed by lethal injection. Her execution marked the first time Texas had executed a woman in over a century. Her calm demeanor before death shocked many observers. Some saw justice served, others saw a failure of mercy. Her case remains one of the most controversial executions in modern American history. Number 3. Lisa Montgomery. Lisa Montgomery's crime stunned the nation. In 2004, she traveled to Missouri under the pretense of buying a puppy. Instead, she murdered a pregnant woman and cut the unborn baby from her womb. The baby survived. The brutality of the crime horrified the public. Montgomery was arrested quickly and later convicted in federal court. What made her case unique was this: she became the first woman executed by the U.S. federal government in nearly 70 years. Her attorneys argued she suffered severe mental illness and lifelong abuse. They said she experienced brain damage and trauma from childhood torture. Mental health experts testified about dissociative episodes. But federal prosecutors argued the crime was premeditated and calculated. In January 2021, after a series of last-minute legal battles, she was executed at the federal prison complex in Indiana. Her execution reignited global debate. Advocates questioned whether someone with profound mental illness should face capital punishment. Others argued that the horror of the crime demanded the harshest penalty. Her case brought mental health and the death penalty back into the spotlight. Number 4. Velma Barfield. Velma Barfield didn't fit the stereotype of a killer. She was a grandmother, soft-spoken, polite, religious, but beneath that appearance was something darker. She poisoned multiple people, including family members, using arsenic. Her victims included her fiancé and even her own mother. Investigators uncovered a pattern of mysterious illnesses that traced back to her. She was convicted in North Carolina and sentenced to death. In 1984, she became the first woman executed in the United States after the reinstatement of the death penalty in 1976. Like Carla Faye Tucker, Barfield experienced a religious conversion on death row. She expressed remorse, she asked forgiveness, but the sentence was carried out. Her nickname, Death Row Granny, reflected the chilling contrast between appearance and action. Her case reminds us that evil doesn't always look like what we expect. Closing reflection. These 4 women shared one common outcome. They were sentenced to death. But their stories are vastly different. Aileen Wuornos, claiming self-defense. Carla Faye Tucker, claiming redemption. Lisa Montgomery, claiming mental illness. Velma Barfield, hiding poison behind a grandmother's smile. Their cases force uncomfortable questions. Does gender change how we view violent crime? Are female killers judged differently than male killers? Should trauma or abuse mitigate punishment? And ultimately, does execution bring justice? The death penalty remains one of the most controversial punishments in modern society. For some, it represents accountability. For others, it represents a system that leaves no room for mercy. And when the person facing execution is a woman, the debate becomes even more intense. Because these cases challenge something deeply rooted in society, the belief that women are naturally less violent. History shows that belief isn't always true. If you found this breakdown insightful, thought-provoking, or disturbing, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe justice was served in these cases, or do you think some of them deserved a different outcome? And if you want more deep dives into true crime and controversial cases, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next story might be even more shocking.